KTRH News Time is 6:47. Texas therapists are compelled to report adult patients who talk about childhood abuse issues to law enforcement. Joining me right now is Amy Schmidt. She's with SNAP, Survivors Network of Those Abused by Priests. Amy, welcome to Houston's Morning News.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Amy, you want the law to remain the same, correct? And therapists would like to see this law changed a bit?
Correct. And we understand those confidentiality concerns that a therapist may have treating a patient who has suffered a child sexual abuse and they're now adults. But we believe, as a supporter for survivors of child abuse, we understand those concerns, but we believe that those concerns are outweighed by the need to protect other kids by making sure the abuser has stopped. And when we err, we would rather err on the side of caution that while the abuse may have stopped for that particular victim maybe decades ago, what's to say that abuser hasn't moved on to another victim,
right.
And very, very likely that it's not just one victim. Usually it's a pattern that we see over decades, and it does take decades sometimes before these survivors have the courage to even speak out and tell someone, and that very likely may be going to seek help. And we do always encourage, we would never want to discourage any victims from coming forward, getting help, and we found that the best way to do that is to not be afraid anymore.
Now, Amy, I'm sorry, let me ask you this question. Right now, within 48 hours, Texas therapists are compelled to report any abuse that they hear of to the authorities. What they are asking Attorney General Abbott is that if it's beyond the statute of limitations, where it cannot even be prosecuted, they would like to see the law changed. And you're saying that, you know, in light of what we've heard, the Jerry Sandusky's case at Penn State, of course, those that have been abused by priests, that is your organization, you know, this can, as you say, go on for decades. And so maybe it is a good thing that they report it. But if you'd hang on, I want to ask you when we come back, you know, what do you tell a patient that might be afraid to get involved in a legal situation, but they do want to get the abuse out into the open and talk about it? I'll get your thoughts on that coming up in just moments. KTRH News Time is 6:52. Amy Schmidt, who is the leader of SNAP, that's a Survivors Network of Those Abused by Priests, joining me. We're talking about Texas therapists and the law when they hear about abuse. Amy, I know that you want the therapist to continue to report abuse even if it's taken place long ago. Will that not keep people from talking about it if they don't want to get involved in a legal issue?
Right. I certainly hope not. And the reason is that the mandatory reporting is so that the information that could protect other kids from being abused possibly is placed in the hands of the professional law enforcement, police, and prosecutors who can take that information and go forward. It could be that one person making a report gives the courage to others, and we have found that time after time that when one comes forward, there are others, and then they know that they're validated, criminals are punished, and children are protected, and so that we would hope it would give them empowerment. And there are very experienced child sexual abuse attorneys who can, if it's civil action they would like to pursue, if criminal action has passed, that they can remain anonymous in those civil suits, and that's so that their rights are protected. But we want to make sure that they're validated. They know it's not their fault. They're not alone.
Amy, I thank you very much. I've got to run along, but I thank you. And listen, Amy, I just want to say, please keep up the great work. God bless you and your organization.
Thank you so much.
All right, Amy Schmidt of SNAP joining us here this morning. We'll keep our eye on that story for you.